Good morning here. Yesterday we released our first book, The Bible of Identity and Evolution, for a very specific woman. And I know even the title is kind of disruptive, and it's for a reason, okay? So before I go in depth, I would love for you, if you want a copy of the Bible, if you can comment or send us a DM with the word English or Spanish, because we did release it in both languages. So that way we can send that to you and you can read it in your preferred language. All right, with that said, the Bible, even listen to that word, the Bible. Like, what is that? It's kind of the religious thing, and it's not. We decided to put the Bible instead of the ebook, book, playbook. We're doing things in a different way, okay? Even with the title. So the Bible, it's a compilation. It contains a series of events, experiences that not only allow me to be the woman that I'm right now, the leader, the coach, the mother, the woman entrepreneur, the visionary, but also allow me to understand, to embody most of the codes that I know you as a woman, and especially a woman that is doing great things in business, it will require to do her journey. I'm not going to say easy, but more smooth. There are 10 chapters, and every single one of them is building upon each other. The first one, and I'm going to mention some of them. The first one is all about identity. I share with you one of the first identity shifts, one of the first moves, which was when I released 90 pounds in 7 months. That was kind of an emotional impact. And right there, I also share that there are different ways to shift your identity. And I'm not gonna water down the language here because you understand about this, okay? I'm not speaking with a kindergarten woman. I'm speaking with you. The second chapter is all about nervous system, because if your body is not accepting the changes that you want to make, you can change the behavior, you can change the habits, you can put all the discipline, all the willpower, wherever, but it's not going to work out. How do I know? Right there, I share with you a couple of experiences that, oh boy. Back then, I was just like, what in the heck I'm doing? It was back in 2022, specifically that year, it was my teacher. But thanks to that, now I'm able to move. I'm able to see how when I see a client, when I see things that are kind of not moving in my business, I'm easily moving because of that. Another big chapter is about reframing the significance of things. Many of us, and especially the woman like you and like me, like we move really, really fast. We're not afraid to do things in a way that others are just like, that is not the right way, whatever. We're doing the things. Right, we move in a big way. We are paying high ticket. We are everywhere. At one point, I was like in 4 containers or 5, and if you listen to this, Gavin, you know, like Gavin, you were saying like, you're everywhere, Graciela. Yes, I was everywhere. And the point that I want to make, when we move really, really fast and things sometimes are not working the way that we want, our identity can get entangled with that, and we start identifying ourselves with debt, with quote-unquote failure, you name it. And in one of the chapters, I help you to shift that, because when you shift the perception of you, when you shift the perception of the significance that you give to the numbers, to the cash that you bring in, the containers that didn't work in the way that you want, you feel invincible. And you actually extract the wisdom of every single lesson, every single experience, if that makes sense. Chapter 9 is all about money, money, money. And right there I share with you something that is not that popular, because when we think about, I'm gonna give you an example real quick here. When we think about money, how does that feels? How that, if I have never made 50K or 100K or 20K, whatever for you it is, it will be, how am I gonna know? Is the frequency of 100K, of a million? If you have $1 in your pocket, if you have a penny in your pocket, you are already vibrating with money. The only thing that separates you is, and if you want to know, get the book. Get the book. Yeah, I know that. Right, that I explained that in a way that feels really smooth. And it took me years, okay, to arrive to that. But once I arrived to that, I was able to shift the way that I was seeing money, the way that I was receiving. And especially if you are a woman in business, you cannot be the life if you cannot pay the fucking bills. And it's huge, my friends here. So 10 chapters. And each and every single one, like I said before, those contains experiences, also exercises. I'm not gonna give you just like information, it's just like exercises. And those exercises are gonna help you to start shifting things around. So it's totally complementary. It's gonna be for limited time. I don't know if 2 weeks, 3 weeks, or 4 weeks, or maybe just one. I'm getting into the feeling of that. But if you want to be part of that, send us a DM, or you can comment Spanish or English, depending on what language do you want to enjoy that. I'm gonna do a separate live another day, but I didn't want to leave that. You have really a weekend that is gonna be really interesting. I will say that. I'm gonna mention that. Maybe I'm gonna share the behind the scenes, but I didn't want to leave this week without doing a live. Let me know in the comments. And yeah, this is more than a book. If you take those 71 pages and actually get into with the eyes of, I did pay for this and I'm gonna do the work, it's gonna change you in a big way. All right, well, I will see you soon. And if you prefer to listen to this in Spanish, I'm gonna do another video as well. Take care.